Yeah, well, so the Mech Warrior games, man, dry cough. It's painful.
Drink your water.
I've been drinking my water.
Oh my.
Hello, welcome to Co-op the Podcast. We're back.
We're here.
Yeah.
We did
Here,
it.
in this space, physically.
Physically here in
In
your home.
your wires. Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going. Yeah.
Oh, okay, shit.
But yeah, I'm your host, Jesse Co-op, as I'm known on the internets. Jesse CO_OP. And my sidekick.
I am a lead.
Nah, you sidekick material.
That's so rude. Hi, it's Raven, not the sidekick. And I go by Raven_co-op on the internet. They're different, but very similar.
Yes, very similar. But yeah, so what's good in the hood?
I'm slightly hungover.
Yep, we
From
did
a
our
draft
draft
party.
party yesterday, so that's going to be our main topic of conversation. I think, was it our last episode?
That we talked about it, yes.
We talked about our, strategies, things like that going into fantasy football.
We fucked it up. We
Yeah,
fucked
I
it
mean,
all up.
it never goes
But
well.
We'll talk about it.
But yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about our drafts. We'll talk about the leagues we already have done and stuff like that. And we'll, throw it out there. And this will be the first of many fantasy football kind of updates. So, when do games start?
I think next weekend.
Right. That makes sense.
Very soon.
Yeah,
So
very soon.
Thursday?
So, yeah, so we still have one more league to draft today. Later today.
Later today, which today
The
is...
2nd of September
Yes.
for us. Mm-hmm. That's when we're recording this. But anyways, we'll talk about that stuff later. What's new on our social spheres?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Book and bitch. Tell me
Book
about
and
that.
bitch. Yeah. So we just released our episode of It. Our next episode comes out not this Thursday, but next Thursday. That one's on Rachel Kushner's.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, exactly. The Flamethrowers. So give that a listen when that comes out.
Yeah, and that's so far. This is going to be my first time hearing about the book. Will be you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
So, which I think is a viable strategy for listening to Book and Bitch. Like, if you don't have time to read, you guys do a good job discussing the book, right?
Without really ruining anything. We try not to.
Yeah.
And I think we're pretty cool and we're pretty funny. We say a lot.
Like
I say a lot.
You guys are just a
But
couple
I think we're pretty
basic
cool.
bitches.
We're so basic. I'm
Yeah.
basic.
Like,
Jenny is well-spoken and beautiful and perfect. I, on the other hand, am a trash monster that just throws like into every other
word.
sentence,
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
Cool.
But you can visit us at bookandbitch.com to see what we're reading after that. We've got some really cool books coming up, like a Neil Gaiman and a old murder mystery kind of novel that we're reading. So go look up those at bookandbitch.com. And then you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at bookandbitchpod. Jenny kind of has taken over our social media for that, and she throws up so much insightful tweets and really cool stuff for you to follow. So
Yeah.
go give it a listen and a yada, 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 yada.
Dope.
Yep.
Dope.
And then also, I'm still on Scraticus Academy every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Apotheosis as the character of Bubbles. We're playing D&D 5e.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty cool. It's in a different kind of setting than what you're used to if you play D&D. It's more kind of like modern Americana, college town setting. And yeah, it's a fun story. There's no stream coming up this week. So no stream on Tuesday of this week, but you can head over to YouTube to watch our video on demand and get caught up before next week.
Yes. So no stream today because this will come out
On Tuesday, exactly.
Yes. So no stream today.
Tonight, yes.
Tonight.
But go watch the video on demand and you can get caught up for next week.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's getting great. The world is ending. It's exciting.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else for our announcements? Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Some hotcakes.
We have a lot of hotcakes this week, so
We have a good
really
amount of
try to get
stuff.
to them.
We were very surprised when we booted up Netflix and we're like, oh, dip. There's some
dip.
new shows.
Oh, dip.
Yes.
And one of those being one of my favorite shows. It gives me so much joy in this world. One of the only things at this point. And it's a Great British Bake Show, or Bake Off.
What's it called?
Get the wrong.
What's it actually
I think
called?
it's the Great British Bake Show.
I think that's
Bake
actually
show,
it
whatever.
too. Yeah.
And it's actually coming out weekly. They're coming out with
Right.
a new episode every week because now we're paying for cable, you guys. We're coming.
Right, which I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
But my idea is that eventually we're just going to have cable. Like back in the day when TV was invented, there were like 3 or 4 channels. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, we'll call them, right? Just
Right,
for example.
exactly.
And, you could get a few of them. And then eventually they started adding more channels. And you would just get like one channel at a time. And then eventually a cable provider came and gave you the whole package, right? Mm-hmm. We're just making it more expensive. Yeah.
Exactly. We just made it 100% more expensive. But I don't really care because the show is amazing. The first episode was really good. They made these like really cute cakes.
Yeah, it's Cake Week.
It was Cake Week. It's
The
usually
first
Cake
episode.
Week is the first episode, and
Yeah.
like the hosts are obviously amazing as usual, and always really funny. They did like a whole
Yeah, we haven't gotten to know the characters so much, the bakers, but they're, they all seem pretty good. Like they all, every season, it's always a good group of people that you kind of can identify with a little bit, right? They do a good job of casting for that show for sure, and they all do a great job baking, but it seems more achievable, I guess, right?
Right.
Than if you're watching like professionals.
Yeah,
shit.
fuck professionals. I'm here for
Yeah.
amateur only.
Right. So super, super fun. Go check it out. And then also on Fridays is when it comes out.
It comes out a
Every
new
Friday.
episode every Friday
Until they're done with it. Then it won't come out on Fridays.
until it's like week 12,
Right.
which is
So-
the finale or something.
Kind of cool. If you missed that about TV too, which,
I
sure.
don't.
I mean, guess what? Now every Friday night we're going to watch the episode, right?
Yep.
So it's like a nice, like, hey, what are we doing? We'll make dinner Friday night. We'll watch the episode. We'll relax in bed or something, Be kind of fun. Kind of
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
What else is on there? The Dark Crystal show is finally out.
Yeah, the Dark Crystal just came out with like their new show. We haven't had a chance to watch it.
We haven't. We talked about it before, and maybe we just forgot the timeline, but yeah, it's out now. It just sprung on us, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's out now. One thing that we have gotten a chance to actually watch is the new season of The Good Place is out.
Yeah,
and
The
it's
Good Place
amazing.
is a super funny show.
If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it because
Yeah.
it's so funny. And this season's really good. I've heard some people complain about last season, well, the first season being the best season. I think that this one is up there.
I still think the first season's the best season.
It's the
yeah.
best season, but I think this one is better than last season.
Yeah, I think the problem with where they are, and it's still super funny, but the problem with where they are is like, okay, where are you gonna go, right? Like it's like
Well,
one of those
we know
things where
where
like
they're gonna
they
go
don't
now
need to
for the
keep
next one.
making the show. They should just get to
Well,
their
the
point.
next season is the last season.
Okay, yeah, and see that's good. That
That's
they're
a
gonna
good place to
commit
stop
that, yeah.
too. Yeah.
And
With
and
what
then
they're
like
doing
I
now.
think they've also kind of leaned a little bit into the tropes. Like our favorite character, probably Jason,
One of our favorite characters. Yes.
the best character.
So
he was
funny.
pretty funny in the first season because you weren't quite sure,
And you weren't expecting what his character
Right.
became.
and then slowly in season 2 and season 3, he talks almost too much. Everything he says is funny,
Yeah, but
but it's like they
says
found out
too
what was
much.
funny about him, and then they've just written more of that in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and like everybody's kind of doubling down on their laughs, right? Not necessarily like
Right.
building his characters more,
Right. Exactly.
but still funny.
Yeah.
Super funny. So definitely go check that one out.
Good
We watched
shit.
through that. Another funny thing that we watched was Dave Chappelle's new comedy special, Sticks
Right.
and Stones.
I only got to watch half of it. You
Yes.
watched all of it, and then I watched some of it. And yes, it is funny.
Yeah, we need to finish watching it for you because you're missing out on some of the funnier jokes at the end. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's popular on the internet. If you haven't heard about it, just go load any internet browser, and type it in. You'll see there's lots of drama. But
Yeah.
watch it because it's
very
fucking
controversial, so I think
hilarious.
it's very topical to watch it as well. But
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny. It's kind of like that no holds bar kind of situation with comedy where it's like, should he say those things? Sure, it's comedy. I mean,
Right. That's our stance on
Go for
comedy
it.
is that you should be able to joke about anything and laugh about anything.
right.
Comedy, there are no rules.
Right, exactly. And if you don't
And that's
like what that
makes,
comedian says,
Yeah, you just don't have to listen to it again,
Exactly.
right? You should listen to it the first time because it's
maybe. I mean, you can
or
do
else you'll
whatever
never know
you
what
want.
they say.
Here's the other thing: is like we don't give a shit what you do. Like, and then also if other people find it enjoyable, or if like, I mean, that's
Stop
on
raining
them.
on other people's parades.
Yeah, that's on them. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. This
Yeah,
is
it's
the
fucking
world that we live
funny.
in. Let's go back to the world where nobody gives a shit what you do in the privacy of your home as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Right. If you're just laughing at some jokes, it's funny. Funny
It's okay.
time, funny.
Exactly.
So.
So that was the Dave Chappelle comedy special on Netflix, Sticks and Stones. There's supposedly like a bunch of other like really good ones too, like Bill Burr.
Yeah,
just-
last month he came out with one or something.
Yeah, exactly. He came out with one recently. Our good friend Adam loves Bill Burr, so we
Yeah.
should definitely watch that and see what he has to say about
Yeah,
the new comedy special.
for sure. No, I like Bill Burr as well. Yeah, Dave Chappelle is definitely my comedy flavor. I think first and foremost.
Slightly loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, and then like Bill Burr would be up there as well. You know, yeah, I like all comedians really though. There's not a single comedian I'm like they're not funny.
Yeah.
Right.
You know which one I want to watch, and I
Kevin
think it's
Hart's
actually
my favorite though. I forgot about him.
Yeah, you do love
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. I really want to watch the John Mulaney special because people talk about it all the time, and all I see are gifs of like the funny shit he says, and I'm like, okay, he's probably my speed.
Yeah.
And I really love Big Mouth. I love Big Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in Big Mouth. He's one of the writers for Big Mouth, and like I love is it Nick Grohl? I think is the other guy, the other
voice
writer.
guy for the
Yeah,
like,
and
thing guy,
he's
yeah.
one of the other writers on that show, and I just think that show is so
Yeah, I
fucking
think he
hilarious.
had a stand-up special like a couple years ago on Netflix
shit.
too. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
So
I think he did, yeah.
This is my other thing. I was never a huge fan of sitcoms growing up, and I wasn't a huge fan of like stand-up comedy. I don't know why. When I was growing up, now I'm like trying to get more into it, and I got a little bit more into sitcoms for sure, being
Right.
around you. But it's still hard for me to like really enjoy watching stand-up comedy, just because I don't know. Sometimes it's just really cringy. Just the idea of
Well, and like sometimes you're just not in the mood to watch this person just stand there and rattle off jokes, right?
exactly.
And that's how I feel a lot of times too. Like, and that's why I like sitcoms. You're like, okay, they're telling me a whole story with visuals. Stand up is they're telling the story,
I have to use my
but there's no
imagination.
visuals. Yeah, and sometimes
Which
you're
I'm fine
jiving
with.
off of it. So other times you're just like, not today.
Right.
You know, I'm
I
trying to
think
be
that's
lazy.
exactly why. One of the reasons why I'm like, stand-up comedy, like, okay, whatever. Sometimes, like, the jokes just don't land well on me, and I'm like, well, I just didn't find that funny. And so now I'm kind of thrown off by, like, the rest of, like, the cadence of it, because, like, it's supposed to
Yeah,
be
and you know, like,
joke, laugh, like, it
We
has,
are in like a
specific title.
weird era of like stand-up comedy, right? Like the golden era of stand-up comedy was like the 90s.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Like,
Or, like-
I remember watching, what was it, like, on Comedy Central, they would do, like, those, like, Gotham City things. I forget what
Right.
they're called, but, like, they would have, like, lesser-known comedians come up and, like, do
Right,
those
and they had like
little
shows about like stand-up and things like that. And like we had kind of hit like a peak point, I think, like, you know, in the 70s, 80s, like there were like tons of funny dudes, right?
Yeah.
But they kind of perfected delivery and like comedy in the 90s and like maybe even early 2000s, and then, you know, it started getting offensive to people.
yeah, people are like, okay, we don't actually like anything.
Right, people started voicing their opinions against it, and so then they started dialing it down, right? But I think we stand a chance to go back now into, I think the world's turning around. I think there'll be some sort of like, you know what? Yeah, it's funny. We don't care
Right.
type of vibe coming, and then more people will make funny jokes, and we might see, you know, the next golden age of comedy around the corner.
Yep.
So, Yeah, that's my hope for comedy. But anyways, that's enough about Dave Chappelle's comedy special, Sticks and Stones, which is super, super funny.
So another TV show that just came out, which we haven't seen, and I don't even know if you know about this show, but it's called
I'm looking at the name
Carnival
and I'm like, I don't know
Row.
what the fuck that is.
Yeah, so it's Carnival Row. It's about it's kind of takes like it's like a fantasy world where all these like different species like fairies and like satyrs and stuff like that are immigrating to kind of a more human world. And it seems like it's based in kind of like, it's obviously not historical fiction, but it could be a little bit more historical fiction because it looks like it's set in like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's got Orlando Bloom in it.
I think I saw the preview for this for sure.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good, and I've heard like really good things about it. It has Cara Delevingne. I think that's how you say her name, and Orlando Bloom. And I love Orlando Bloom because I was a child of the 2000s, and one of my Yahoo names was Legolas Lover 1992. So that's how I feel about him, which is very embarrassing for me. It's supposedly really good. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just one of those like new shows that you can watch.
That's dope.
You're there.
Yeah. No, I really, I think I saw the preview for the first time a couple days ago, and I was kind of like,
Yeah, no, it looks kind of interesting. It's kind of like a take on like fantasy, like immigration. And during that time, immigration was kind of an interesting topic to learn about as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting how it's kind of like fantasy.
Yeah, now I'll be interested to see what they throw in politically lined from this, though. Not that, like, I just, like, feel like that'll, like, lessen the show a little bit if they try to, like, sink low like that. But, I think the show overall still will be cool. So, excited to check it out.
Yeah, there looks like there are about 8 episodes, and they're already out, unlike what Netflix is doing right now.
Yeah.
With Great British Bake Off.
Dope.
But I want...
Okay. One other one on here, too. I'll let you jump in on. Yeah.
I want to talk about is the new season of Mindhunter. I'm literally waiting for the moment Jesse gets the fuck out of my house to leave for a work trip so that I can watch Mindhunter, the new season. The first season was amazing. You guys know I love true crime. I've read the book Mindhunter, which is based on like these characters or these people and this specific division of like the FBI. And so I'm so excited for season 2. Season 2 has Charles Manson in it. I'm so excited, especially because of how well they did Ed Kemper.
Yeah, you know what? That actually enlightens me a lot too, because I just saw this GIF on GIF.
We're a GIF family.
GIF. On GIF.
We're a GIF
anyways,
family.
I just saw this GIF on Reddit that was comparing like the scene, I guess, when they're interviewing Manson and he's talking about it. And it must have been from that show. I didn't know where the scene came from. It
probably is, yeah.
But it probably was. And then it was like the scene where they interview him and then like the real life footage of it and how the actor was very, close. Like, it's definitely different, but he picked up the mannerisms and kind of brought them across or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they did something similar. I think the guy that they had that played Ed Kemper, who plays Hazel in Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
He's such an amazing, talented actor. I think he actually got nominated for his portrayal of Ed Kemper because he was so fucking spot on, for Ed Kemper. And I mean, it's hard to play a psychopath, especially one as big and as complex as Ed Kemper was. And so I'm excited to see what they do with the second season and who all they have coming in on that, because in the first season they had some other big names like I'm going to look some up because I can't remember all of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the problem with Hollywood is that I can't remember anybody's name ever.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I know it was Ed Kemper. Oh, and the BTK killer is in it. They have him in kind of these like extra scenes because the BTK killer technically at this point hadn't been caught yet. And so that's kind of like one of the consistent things throughout the TV show is just this kind of like this theme of like Dennis Rader and he's acting and what he's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Ed Kemper was last year. Richard Speck. They have a guy that plays Richard Speck, and Richard Speck is a person, and I think the like 60s he went and he like killed a bunch of nurses in a like one of those like nursing school houses, like dormitories, and only one person survived, and she basically put him away.
Yeah.
And like I've seen videos of him like recently, and he's so fucking crazy, and this guy really
Nails it.
Yeah, nails it for sure. So yeah. Ooh, it looks like they have like David Berkowitz. Do you know who David Berkowitz is?
No.
Son of Sam.
Mm.
Yeah. And then also William Henry Hance, who killed a ton of children in Atlanta during this time period.
Yeah.
And so supposedly I was listening to My Favorite Murder, and they talk about how like they really do it justice because they actually teamed up with like a lot of the parents that their kids actually were murdered by this person, and they were able to portray them accurately and portray how the police handled the situation.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be amazing. So I'm so excited to watch it. Jesse, get out so I can watch my TV show.
Yeah. I mean, you can always put those shows on. I'll watch them. I just may have critical comments about these topics and shows.
Maybe. I don't think that you'll... Well, I don't watch Sex in the City when you're around. I don't watch Mindhunter.
Right, because I have very many critical comments about Sex in the City.
I know.
Like, hey, how are they all so successful?
No, yeah.
Are there 4 people that are that successful that are friends that do that much different stuff? Like, sure, okay. If we were all successful lawyers and we were friends, it makes more sense.
Right.
But they have 4 different careers.
Yep.
They're all super... It just makes no sense. Those people don't exist.
Yeah, I know. It's the same with Friends.
It is exactly the same with Friends, yeah. But
and in Seinfeld, they're all, like, not successful, and, like, George and Jerry were friends when they were kids, and then Jerry and Elaine
But so what's
dated,
weird about that is that,
Kramers.
like, Jerry lives in, like, basically a shitty building. That, like, somebody who says... Because, I mean, even in the show, he should be a millionaire. He should live in a nice building.
Right.
But he lives in the same shitty building.
Looks really shitty.
Yeah. And then, like, so in Friends, I was going to say, what's more reasonable about Friends is they just hang out in a coffee shop. What's unreasonable about Sex in the City is that they're successful they can go out to bars and restaurants that have to be crazy expensive. It's like, their monthly bills must be like...
Clubs.
Yeah.
They're in clubs
I don't know,
$50
$50,000 a month living expenses.
Yeah, and it's all about, so a lot of them have like really good careers. You know whose career kind of sucks? Carrie's. She's a fucking writer. She writes for a newspaper column. She's not getting paid that great.
Yeah, she's not getting paid shit.
While like Miranda is a lawyer, and I think Charlotte either manages or owns her own like gallery. And then Samantha has her own PR firm. So, like, everybody else is, like, these more high-paying careers or owns their own business. And she's just a writer, and she could just still hang.
Hang with them, yeah.
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 It's just ridiculous. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's my problem with that. Mindhunter, I think my problem would just be, like...
There's a lot of sex in it, too, where you're like, I don't think that this is necessary, but that's fine.
Yeah, so I don't know what my problem would be with Mindhunter, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll find something.
I'm sure you'll find something. It's
There's
really
something
good
about
though.
every show.
Yeah. So let's move on. There's a ton of new...
Movies?
Well, there's actually not a ton of new
That was our
movies.
point. Yeah, there's not a ton of new movies. We put it in here because it's like...
Right. Because I read something the other day, too, about, like, new movie releases. And they're like, who's going to take the summer, like, box office? Is it going to be Aladdin? No, it may not have been Aladdin. No, Lion King. It Chapter 2 or something else. And it was only like these 3 options. I'm like, that's it? That's all we got?
Yeah, just not a lot of great movies. And, you know, I think like the holiday time is when more movies come out. Like, you know,
we
starting in October.
Just got a new updated kind of trailer for Star Wars.
Right.
The Rise of Skywalker, which is so amazing. We didn't have that on our list, but
that
trailer's
it was
super
good.
cool.
Yeah.
And we get some Dark Rey, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
I'm going to cosplay
And I mean, that's
going
to be the last movie, right? So
yeah, it's the last one out of this entire story. Like, they said
Yeah.
they're never going to make another one, which we'll see.
They also said that before they came out with these.
I know.
So, you know.
Right. These are more popular than the original. ones. So
Yeah. But they're gonna come out with that, and that'll be in like,
December,
yeah. What's the season called?
Christmas, holiday,
Fall and winter.
winter.
Fall and winter time.
Yes.
That's when more movies come
Wow.
out. Spring, summer are kind of lame ducks when it comes to movies, I think. So, I think that's a big
like
part of it.
summer is usually, like, the beginning of summer is usually reserved for some Marvel films. So you get a lot of those in, like, April and May.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, I don't know why summer is always just really kind of lame when it comes to...
It's just always been that way. Yeah. But yeah, this year in particular, Chapter 2 is the only one that looks...
And that comes out this Friday, or this Thursday. So Jesse and I are going to go to the theaters and see it. We're going to do a little spooky date night.
Yeah, it'll be super fun.
And we'll probably talk about it in our next episode. And we'll compare it, because Jesse read it.
Yep, for Book and Bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Book and Bitch, so...
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, that's going to be exciting just because the first part one
Chapter
of
one.
the remake was really good.
So good.
So we think this will be good too. All the kids in it that are like the kids from like Stranger Things, basically.
Yeah, Finn Wolfhard is really just the only one.
No, I think there's like one. There's one.
No,
other one
it's just
no?
Finn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. They all do
Yeah.
a pretty good job.
But, like, there's fucking James McAvoy. There's, like, Jessica Chastain. There's Bill Hader, who is probably one of my favorite comedians. I love Bill Hader. Like, everybody's so good. Chapter 2 is well cast for sure.
Yeah.
So we're just really excited about watching it.
Yeah. And then other than that, I did see actually this month. There's gonna be a new Rambo movie, which is weird
That
because
is
I
very
didn't hear
strange.
anything about it. And didn't think there would be one. But have you ever seen any of the Rambos?
I've never seen a single Rambo.
That's what I thought, yeah. This happens a
you
lot.
have
So,
it
like,
in the notes, and I'm like, fuck, why he gotta call me out?
Yeah. Well, because, like, I mean, you've never seen Terminator or,
Nope.
what were the other ones we watched? Lethal Weapons, I made you watch.
Yeah, you made me watch those.
The Die Hard movies.
The Die Hard movies I didn't watch until I'd seen you. I watched Aliens. I watched, like, the Predator films. But that was really it.
Yeah, you missed a lot of classic, like, action movies, I feel like,
I definitely
from back in the day.
did. I'm trying to think if, like, there's another one.
But so, we should watch some Rambos. We'll watch, like, the first Rambo and, like, really get, like, the feel for Rambo. And there's no pressure. We don't need to watch this one when it's in theaters, but we'll watch it at some point. I don't know the premise because, again, I just found out that it's there.
Right.
I don't know if,
I
like...
have no idea. I can't
Sylvester
even tell you
Stallone's
what
gonna be in
the
it
original
super
Rambo
old.
is. However, so because we just read it, and it has been on my mind for a very long time at this point. One of my good friends, Ryan, she let us borrow Sylvester Stallone's directorial debut, Oscar, which is like this like gangster kind of comedy movie. It has Tim Curry in it. We were talking about how much I love Tim Curry. And Marissa Tomei and Sylvester Stallone is in it. So we're going to watch that.
Yeah.
Which I
that's gonna be
also
good.
have not seen.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. I didn't know it was a thing.
Well, guess what?
But
Now it is.
Sounds good.
It's on our kitchen counter.
I know, it is.
We
so,
need to watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it with movies now. So not much. Not nearly as much as, shows.
And games. Games
Games are
coming
going to
up
be big this month as well. Yeah. Borderlands 3, of course, the start of it. For us, at least. Yeah. That'll be our number one.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And so we're catching up on Borderlands 2, kind of trying to... I'm assuming that badass points will transfer over to Borderlands 3.
We're hoping.
We've never actually,
And here's the thing.
I'm gonna look at
So, I have been playing Borderlands 2 probably since 2013. And I was playing it on my original Microsoft account. I forgot my password, and I can't recover my password because my login for it is my university email. And so I lost all my badass points. I lost all my highest characters. So now I'm like starting over from scratch, and that really fucking sucks. Especially because we want to play the new DLC, which really helps kind of like bridge the gap between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. And so because of that, we have to get our characters up way higher because there's it recommends you be like level 30. And like my highest character on this particular account is like 20. Now it's 24. And these characters are really cool too, the ones that Jesse and I are playing right now. Because I'm playing the Psylocke Maya, and I'm going down the middle tree, which is kind of like your healer, your mass healer. And Jesse's playing the Psycho Krieg, and he's doing the one where you set yourself on fire. And
Yep, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
You die a lot. But
But that's the point, right?
And I res you a lot, so I level faster.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know it does not look like badass points are going to be the system in Borderlands 3.
Dope. I'm cool with that.
There's like a thing that once you beat the main story, you unlock these like Guardian ranks, and then it's similar, right?
Oh.
But you don't get it till you beat the main story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm cool with that.
It's
I mean,
different.
you're the one that cares. I can see it in your eyes. Like, you are very upset
I am
right
very
now.
good at achieving badass
He loves
points.
ranks.
Yeah, like
in
I
any
just like
system.
I'm always like, okay, yeah, like let me switch my weapons out so I can get some headshots with this weapon and get the tokens and the points and I built it up really quickly.
You did.
So kind of bummed that I won't be able to transfer forward, but I guess I'll just unlock whatever the new one is and build that up quickly.
Yeah.
So.
You need to decide which characters we're going to play. On
Yeah.
That. And it's coming out soon, so you can still
September 13th, I want to say.
September 13th. And you can still, like, pre-order it and...
Yes, which we recommend the, I don't know, it's like $100.
The $100 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember
Whatever
exactly
they call
what
it.
it's called.
The super special pre-order pack. I don't know. But you get like a item that'll increase your XP gain and stuff like that. You also get some DLC content. We don't know what those DLC are, but you get that content. I'm assuming you can probably purchase it later.
Yes.
If you want, right?
But it'll cost more.
Yeah, but I bet you that it'll work out the same. And supposedly Amazon has a deal to get $10 off.
Yeah, but we don't know how to get that.
Right, we're still trying to figure out how to make that work.
Because also, we didn't know that the DLC was free for only a short amount of time, but we missed out, and so we had to spend like $15 on it.
The
so
DLC,
it's $15.
the DLC that connects Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3 is $15.
$15. Had no clue. So now you know. We reported it here first because they did not make that well known.
Yep. But yeah, I think now though that we know that the badass points won't carry over, we should probably just jump into the DLC.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just trying to get us to 30.
Yeah, but we can make new level 30 characters.
Oh, can you really?
When you start the DLC, yeah. I was only saying like we should take these characters up to 30
Is that
to
how
play
it works?
Yeah, we should. I was saying we should take these characters up to 30 to play it, so we could pad our badass.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
It sounds like that's not necessary at all.
Yeah, and
Also
the
wasted
siren
all that
isn't-
time getting those keys.
I know, and the siren I don't love. I don't love playing the siren. I'm good at it, but I don't. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
So-
the Necromancer better.
Yeah, we'll play something different and go through the
Maybe
thing
we'll
later.
see. We'll look more into it. But what other games are coming out soon or have come out?
Yeah, so a couple that are coming out that I just kind of heard of. Well, Gears 5, actually. That one I didn't just hear about. I knew that was coming out, but
We talked about it recently.
Yeah, we talked about it before. We've just never played the Gears series really. Like I've dabbled in like one of the first couple when they were out.
I've never played any of them, but Laura Bailey's in it, and I love her.
Yeah, and like they're a pretty big following, and I mean they're on the 5th game and stuff like that. It's like maybe it's time we went back and kind of experienced what these were about, right? And stuff like that. So, I'm thinking we'll probably be preoccupied with Borderlands 3 for the most part, but a couple months from now, I'm gonna probably look back and say, yeah, let's grab
that.
Gears 5.
It looks really good.
And actually, now that I remember, Gears 4 is the game of the month for Xbox Live Gold, or one of them. So we have that now. So we can play Gears 4.
Shit, okay.
I'd go through and see what that's about and
Yeah.
get into Gears 5. So another one I saw on here, Phoenix Point, which I'm like, okay, never heard of it before. Click on it. Turns out it's a strategy game. Kind of like humans versus alien monsters, strategy game, kind of similar to like StarCraft or whatever, things like that. But I'm like, man, I love strategy games. I just don't feel like they come out with enough of them. And then like, StarCraft is where it's at a lot of times too. Things like that.
Yeah.
It's just like we need more, right? I think strategy games were super popular early 2000s. There were a bunch of them I remember playing. This one I'm excited about because it'll be a new one, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, and probably play it on like my PC or something. So, strategy games just do a little better on PC. So, speaking of PC,
Yeah, speaking of PC, WoW Classic just came out, you guys, and it was as terrible
Another early
a launch.
2000 game. Yeah.
It was as terrible of a launch as anybody could have expected. There were queue times up to like 400 minutes long. Like almost all of the servers.
Yeah, I
were
just can't believe that
full.
many people still care about WoW.
Oh, everybody still cares about WoW. Everybody.
I think it's ridiculous. And here's my point against why WoW is ridiculous. I don't know what they've done in Classic, right?
I
But
mean,
like,
it's original, so
yeah, it's like all similar to the original too. Because like my whole thing with like MMOs is everybody gets the same stuff, right? Like if I remember when I played, it was like paladins were the best, right?
Oh,
Everybody was a paladin,
I
or
was never
everybody
a
was like
paladin.
a hunter, right?
Yeah, I was a hunter.
And you're like, so like there's nobody wants to play the bad things. So if it's proven that this is a better class, and then they try to like nerf it or whatever, and then another one's better, and then everybody just switches to that one. And that it's just a constant game of like everybody getting like, I got the best sword. You got the best sword too? Oh, cool. So does all
Everybody
30,000 people on
and
the server.
everybody knows where to get it because everybody's doing the same raids and everybody's trying to get through
It's
everything.
like, where's the fun in that? Of like
Everybody has
just
the same
everybody's
mount.
mirror copied, you know,
Yeah.
over and over. So that's why I can't believe WoW's still pumping, but it is.
Yeah, it sure is. And people love it, and people are still excited for it. I know a lot of people that are playing it, and they're all having a good time. As good as they could be.
Yeah,
Playing
as
WoW
good as
Classic.
they could be playing WoW Classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
The graphics are updated though, right?
Yeah.
So there's that at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's got to be some new content.
Yeah. My dad's playing it, and
Yeah.
my dad has a guild that I'm in, that I've been in since I played WoW back in high
Original,
school. And it was really funny because my brother Richard called me, and he was like, "Hey, did Dad ask you to be a part of their group that's playing WoW Classic and part of that guild?" And I was like, no." And he was like, "He didn't ask me to either." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, we suck."
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, I think he asked my other brother Alex to play, but Alex is probably pretty good at it. But then my brother was complaining. He was like,
What
so
makes
I
you good at playing WoW?
you don't have a life.
I was gonna say because like if you just sit
You
there
can
and
dedicate
click,
all your time to it,
Like, it's
which
just
I
clicking.
definitely can't.
you know,
Yeah.
click, click, click.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I see skills in some video games, but again, it's just moving your little guy around and clicking and hitting buttons fast. You
Yeah,
know?
hitting your whole little...
Yeah, which again, there's
setup.
always like this is the best way to set up your macros.
Yeah, this is
Just
how
Google
you do
it, and
any
then
of your macros.
you know you're fine.
That's right. My dad always set up my macros for me because
Yeah.
he loved me so much. But yeah, Richard complained so much that he like went to the source and he ended up like volunteering himself to play. He was like, "I didn't actually want to play, but I was very upset that Dad didn't ask."
Yeah.
And
So
it's
now
like,
he's stuck
well,
playing.
now you're stuck playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and I'm happy.
Yep.
I have time to do things with my loved ones.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's funny.
Yeah. It was funny.
But yeah, no, another game that I just found out about again today. Again, I'm just doing all this research today, and I found some good
I'm
stuff.
so proud
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
Doing all that research.
But Mech Warrior 5.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, well, so the Mech Warrior games, man, dry cough. It's getting
Drink your water.
I've been drinking my water.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the Mech Warrior games were like, I mean, you play some mech, right? Which is giant robot that you
people,
get
yeah.
in, right? Like the Titanfall games,
Yeah.
right? Very similar mech styles to those, right?
Yeah.
But a lot more, a lot more mech piloting. See, water. Drink it. I'm still gonna cough. I bet you. But Mech Warrior 5. The thing that I find really, really interesting about this is Mech Warrior 4 came out in 2000. So it was 19 years ago.
Damn, that's a long time
Yeah,
ago
and
when
you
you
can
say
just-
it in that way.
Right, and it's like, okay, like, cool, I'm walking around as a mech game, right? But, like, those games feel like they'd be limited by the technology of 2000. Right? Like, just the graphics engines and things, like, going on today, it's going to be super awesome. You know, open world, mech, cool stuff, I bet. No clue. Super excited for it, though. See? Still coughing. Drink water. I'm still coughing. It's weird. I don't know. It's this room. I don't know what it is. All the styrofoam. It's getting in my throat.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what it is.
Let's finish up our hotcakes.
Yeah, it's the last one, and that was one other game, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which came out like 25 years ago for Game Boy.
And they're doing a redo of it. I actually do think that I heard that the Final Fantasy VIII
Remastered's coming out.
Remastered is coming out soon. Sorry.
No, that'll be good. That'll be a good one too. Did 9 come out?
Yes, 9 is out already. It's not as remastered as Final Fantasy VIII, though.
Right. But I remember we talked about them a little while ago, and I think at the time 9 wasn't quite out yet either.
Yeah.
So
I think they just came out with a remastered gameplay. So I think we're still waiting for it to officially come out. Like, this article doesn't say shit about it, which is so annoying.
Yeah, like
September 3rd.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Oh, so
tomorrow. It comes out tomorrow.
Same day this drops.
So
Coincidence?
Shit. I think not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But,
so
yeah, see, lots of good games. So movies are kind of on a slump. Shows have given us some stuff. But the thing about shows is, like, we'll get caught up, right? Really quick, and it'll be over. But then there'll be games to kind of bring us. There's always a balance, right?
Yeah, we're not doing anything once Borderlands 3 comes out.
Yeah, we'll play a lot of Borderlands 3.
So fucking much Borderlands 3.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on to our theme.
Our theme, which is going to be a slightly more brief theme this week, because we talked about draft last week, and we wanted to give you guys the results and see how it worked for us. And like I said before, it was not great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So let's talk first about, if you listened to our podcast last time and you got some advice on how to draft, running back, wide receiver, how to set up your draft, stuff like that, right? If you're still in the throes of that, and today is 9/3/2019, and you're listening to this,
you're running out of time.
Stop listening to this and go set up your draft and get it done before the games start.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're fucked.
You're, slightly more fucked up fucks with your entire ranking.
Yeah.
So.
But we have several leagues that we're participating in, and then I have one that Raven is not a part of because she's not cool enough.
What the fuck does that mean?
What league are you in? It's the one with the store.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
okay,
nobody turned the league
Everybody
off, so
sucks.
just
Oh, shit, really?
So everybody auto-drafted, and nobody knew they were in it.
Well, there you go.
So, but let's start with our ESPN league, which is the Podcasters League.
Yes, exactly. And we are in this league with some of our favorite podcasters, like our really good friends Adam and Liz over at Games and Groceries.
Yep, Games and Groceries.
And just a lot of those amazing podcasters that we work with quite often, like the ones in Greatest Story Ever Played, all those. So definitely.
It's a good group of people. I'm trying to find out how many total people there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just gotta count. 12. It looks like we have 12 teams in that league. So that's a good-sized league. And so with this league, effectively, all my strategy was for drafting was to auto-draft.
Mm-hmm. I also auto-drafted.
And that was it.
Yep.
Yes. So sometimes auto-drafting is a viable strategy if you haven't had time to research in particular, which was where I was sitting. I was like, I could attempt to do this, but I'll probably make worse picks than auto-draft would.
Yeah, than just moving forward with
auto-draft. And so sometimes you're like, okay, let's just go with auto-draft and then just fix it later. Mm-hmm. Right? So, I'm just looking at my team for the first time today.
He is, as we speak.
As we speak. I'm loading it up.
Yeah, and so for me, I was also auto-drafting because I had an opportunity to DM a really cool game, which you can get video on demand on Scroticus Academy. You can go watch me do that, but I had to auto-draft, and I don't think I did the best.
Yeah?
I don't think I did the best. No.
Well, tell me, who did you get? What sort of players did you get?
Well, so I got Cam Newton, which I never would have picked.
Yeah, I got Russell Wilson, who I also probably would
never would have picked.
Yeah.
And then I also got Le'Veon Bell. And so I like Le'Veon Bell as a player. However, when was the fucking last time he played? He's always in some sort of controversy. He now plays for the Jets, which haven't had a good
Yeah, I got
year.
Golden Tate.
God knows how long. Yeah, Golden Tate is suspended.
Yeah.
Which somebody else drafted him last night. And I was like, why? Why would you do that? I got like Marvin Jones Jr., who I wouldn't have.
Yeah, let's just talk about a little bit about. So, like,
drafted.
the reason we don't like some of these players is because the way they'll put up points, right? Like, for me, Russell Wilson isn't going to get enough. Like, he's not going to get the ball into his offensive line or, offensive players'
Well, here's the
hands
thing: his
enough to
depth
get
isn't
points.
good enough, I think, and so last year he ended up trying to do a lot for himself, and it didn't really work out very well because he had nobody that he trusted on his team.
Right. Which actually they are supposed to have a good team this year.
Well, we'll see.
But again, yeah, unless they blow up, Russell Wilson's not going to put up a lot of points. Like with Cam Newton, he has the problem where he tries to get the points a lot.
He is a fucking like
He's a
superstar.
fuckboy.
He's like a
Yeah.
fuckboy superstar that wants to do everything himself. Now, Christian McCaffrey, I think, plays for the Panthers, and he's a good player.
Yes,
and
I have him.
I know. I saw that you had him. I was like, that's a good pickup.
Yeah, a couple of these I'm not,
Upset about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's gonna make a lot of points, but that's not good for me because he's a running back, isn't he? Or is he
Yeah,
wide
he's a
receiver?
running back. Yeah.
Yeah, so that gives me no points, and so
Right.
that's not going to do me any good if that's their star player.
And but like
who's gonna
part
be
of the
running
reason
ball.
they're definitely putting him on the team and into play is because they don't want Cam Newton running the ball because every time he does, he fucks it
he
up.
gets fucking injured.
Right, he gets injured,
and he's
yeah.
injured. He's questionable right
and
now.
that was his thing. In college, Cam Newton would run the ball like crazy.
Yeah, and that's
And
why
they were
people
comparing
loved
him to who's the dude that fought dogs?
Okay, Michael Vick.
They were comparing him to Michael Vick because Michael Vick used to do that too in the pros, right? But then Cam Newton got to the pros and he couldn't quite. He can't do the same thing he did in college in the pros. That's the same thing that happened to Tim Tebow and why Tim Tebow never made it to the pros, really.
Right.
Is because it just didn't translate. Similar for Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton has all the stacks to be a good quarterback, but he just won't
Yeah.
do it because he
And-
wants to do what he did before.
Yeah. And so a reason why I believe I drafted the way that I did was because I think I was like 11th in this league, and we didn't know what our order would be for this particular league until like 30 minutes before we drafted.
Yeah, that was another reason I was like,
Yeah, I'll just let
hey,
it be.
I was 2 in
Well-
this one, and I was 2 in ours.
I know, collusion.
Man.
I've had like the worst luck with like my drafting order. This one I was 11th, and that's why I probably picked up Le'Veon Bell because everybody in this league is pretty knowledgeable about drafting, and nobody would have picked
Wait,
up
what's your
Le'Veon
team
Bell.
name in this one?
It's just the Internet Raven at the moment.
You were 8th in this league.
Oh, it was 8th.
Eighth,
That's still
actually.
kind of crappy.
Yeah.
So-
No, anything in the middle's kind of shitty.
And that is all I've been in. So in our draft from yesterday, Sunday, I was 6th, which is just terrible. You get a mediocre team. It's fine.
Right.
But you don't get really any superstars.
Yeah. But okay, so before we move on from this team, who did you get for defense and kicker in this one?
Oh, well, defense, I got the Colts.
That's
which
not bad.
is
Yeah, I
not
got
bad.
Adam Vinatieri for my kicker.
I got Jake Elliott, who plays for Philadelphia, which
Yeah.
I don't put a lot of
I got
stock into my kickers or my defense. I'm
Yeah.
planning on training them out every week because it's more based on who is the team playing. And so
Exactly.
I'm cool with Philadelphia because they'll kick the ball.
yeah, and I'm actually going to tweak my team while we're here right now. But I got 2 defenses. Did you get 2 defenses? Did
No,
you
I
draft-
just got the one.
Yeah, mine got me the Broncos and the Texans. I'm like, who does that?
Auto
Why?
draft does on ESPN, obviously.
Why,
Yeah.
why auto draft? Why would you do that to me?
Yeah.
I actually don't even know how to see week 1 projected points. Okay. So you can actually look at their projected points in ESPN. And then usually what I'll do at the beginning of the season, because it's really difficult to determine, what to actually do for the first game in a season, right? Mm-hmm. So usually I'll just sit here and say who has the better projections. And actually it looks like I might just have the best team I can possibly put together already. So, meh. I'll keep it with that. And I'm projected to win my first game. First game's always a toss-up, is what I say.
That's
You
true.
know.
That's very true.
You're not going to really... You can make some minor changes to your team, things like that. But the projections are wildly off the first game because nobody knows what they're talking about.
That's true.
And nobody knows what the players are going to do. So, right now, I'm playing Prescott is in another castle. Andrew Orsi. But yeah, and I'm going to beat him. How about you?
No, I'm not projected to win. Whatever.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Again, week 1, yours is actually really close, like 3 points off. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to one of our other leagues.
Yeah, which we actually drafted yesterday. Last night. And it's really, so this one's on Yahoo. And it's more of a kind of like they give you like a draft grade and tell you how well you did. One of our friends who's in the league actually auto drafted the whole time. She got the best score, and she got like
that was a purposeful cough.
Okay.
And her scoring.
No, yeah, it's fucking bullshit, and it's like she just completely.
Well, because like, how do they determine
auto draft
what's
it?
the best?
It's because it's the best because they did it.
Right, she used their auto draft system.
Exactly.
So of course they're gonna give themselves the best score.
And like they send you a little email with the whole thing, and they give you like reasons why they did it, and they're fucking assholes. And it's like, okay, sure, I didn't draft that one player who is fucking questionable, has like a concussion, bullshit.
Right, but you ranked higher, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
I'm like, whatever. So we got to pick ours. Who was your first pick, babe?
Let me go back to my draft recap.
We had a problem with this one too, because if you weren't signed in exactly when you were supposed to do it, which there was like some confusion about like whether we were going to do it directly out of Yahoo or if we were going to do it directly out of Clicky Drafts, which I was expecting us to do. And so because I hadn't logged in, I auto drafted my first pick, but it was actually the person I was going to pick, which is Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns, who is also a UGA alumni. Go Dogs.
Yeah, I got Alvin Kamara.
Yep, that was a
the
good
New
one.
Orleans running back. Yeah, he's ranked number 2 for Yahoo. I think he in ESPN and stuff he was ranked number 3. I don't know.
Right.
His ranking seems to change, but
Right, he's number 2 on Fantasy Pros.
yeah, the general guide was like if Saquon Barkley, if somebody skipped him for round 1, you pick him up.
Yeah,
if not,
for sure.
Go with
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. So,
Yeah.
and because again, I was number 2. And then,
I mean, it's still crazy how like David Johnson is still like ranked in like the top 5, and like Ezekiel Elliott, and they haven't had good years. So like, use this shit to your like. I mean, just think about it a little bit before you just take everything that these people say with like a grain of salt.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's
and then again,
bullshit.
I paid for Fantasy Pros last year and did not
bullshit.
do well. Yeah, at all. So the advice they were giving me was shit. So
right, and I'm like, I think I was using my list, and I'm like working off like 3 different lists that other people have compiled because I just didn't have enough time to do it myself. Mm-hmm. And I think Ginny was looking at that list too. And, like, so Ginny picked up David Johnson, and I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
Yay, buddy. That was not a good choice. But it happens. Some of the other people I picked, I did draft out of spite, which was the title of our last episode. And I picked up Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst decision I ever made.
So we were going through our draft, and when did it happen? I want to say it was, round 3.
Oh, there was
somebody picked up a quarterback. Again,
fucking quarterback. Patrick
people are going to
Mahomes.
rush on the quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be the best quarterback this year.
I hope he gets injured.
don't know that that's going to be realistic because last year, what did he actually do?
He did really well last year.
15 points.
He didn't do 15.
In fantasy or something. That's what they said. His projected, like his resulting points from last year are like 15.
No, that's not right.
Yeah.
He got like a ton of points.
No, he looked crappy last year.
No,
apparently.
he looked fantastic.
See, that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know how true any of this is going to be, that he's going to actually be good.
Patrick Mahomes did really well. Deshaun Watson, before he got injured,
I will
was doing
say
really
that
well.
supposedly a bunch of mock drafts were saying he would go around 3 or around 4.
Which happened.
As an exception for a quarterback, right? Like, really, he should have gone around 5, probably, I would have said. But, I was sitting there I think I picked up a quarterback at...
You were one of the early ones, and we talked shit about you behind your back.
Yeah, I picked him up at round 5. And round 5 should have been the early quarterback pick. And it's because I had a running back. I had 2 running backs, a wide receiver, a tight end, and then I picked up a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right, so I already had like some pretty good... I had all my bases covered with good picks. Mm-hmm. And then I pick up a quarterback. But yeah, somebody picked him up. So I won't say who. Round 3. Just fucking everything up.
Fucking it all up.
Yep. But then what else happened that was exciting? There were some other runs too. Like, didn't somebody pick up a defense pretty quick?
Pretty early, yeah. Which it's like, I mean, that's fine. Play your game the way you want to play it. Your defense isn't going to make you that many points. You should be focusing on your running backs and your wide receivers, people. And your tight ends.
It looks like we had, like round 8 is when defenses started going, which they shouldn't have gone until like round 12.
Yeah, no, I think I picked mine up really late, and I picked up Minnesota, and Minnesota has a pretty good defense.
Right. I mean, there are 32 teams. There are 12 teams in our league. 10?
I don't know, but
12.
yes.
There are 12 teams in our league. Everybody can get a good defense, and we're good, right? Mm-hmm. And there's still going to be 20 left.
Yeah. And so for this particular team, I picked up a lot of those, like, quote-unquote potential sleepers. So we'll see how they do. But I'm actually really excited. I hope I got some good people.
Yeah, I'm excited about this league as well. I think I got some good people, despite, So this one, we did maybe the bare minimum research for, so that's why we were, like, in it. And this league is, like, our probably most competitive league. So,
yes,
everybody's sitting there, and everybody's trying to shoot for. It's like everybody who's actually drafting wasn't picking off the top. We were looking for the person that 4 or 5 down is actually going to be the top when it comes.
A couple of weeks,
a few weeks in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was kind of playing the game.
Yeah.
Except for Kylie, who auto-drafted and got an A. So
exactly. Yeah. I got a C-, and they were like,
I got a C.
You picked up, like, really, really, like, low projected players. And it's like, that was the point.
Yeah. Apparently, I just got too many San Francisco players.
Well, yeah. And that was the thing with, I was also helping Jen with her team a little bit. And she was like, yeah, you have too many players that are, like, all of your running backs are out, like, week 9.
Yeah.
So you maybe need to pick up some more running backs. Or, like, it was, like, a running back and a tight end or whatever, and a lot of her other players were fucked up. So, yeah, it happens. I think I got a lot of shit from Yahoo's report card. I think that is pretty rude. All the shit they said. So, whatever.
Ooh, yeah, okay. I'm actually, like, I just gotta... And so another important thing when you're playing fantasy football, whoever you're playing on, they'll have these little pop-up things that tell you what's going on with that player. All the current news. Apparently one of my guys just agreed to be the punt returner for his team, which is great. He can get some extra yardage. But they have a pretty deep wide receiver bench. Mm-hmm. So they might be giving him that so that, like, because he was like basically third in a 3-man wide receiver, but they have like 6 wide receivers on the team. Mm-hmm. So they might drop him from third, have him just be the punt returner. That's what I'm worried about. So then he's not going to be on the field. So yeah, it's like I could get some extra points if he's returning punts and runs it all the way in. That'd be awesome. And if he was a wide receiver, but it sounds like he might not be a wide receiver anymore. So interesting. But yeah, go read up on the news for that stuff. And while we are on the subject, let me tell you about one of my other leagues. The one that I didn't know about until last night. Let's see who I got. My team on that is Batteries plus Ultra. I auto-drafted completely. There's only 8 teams. I got Russell Wilson in that one too.
Damn. That sucks.
Russell Wilson, Julian Edelman, Tyler Lockett,
which also sucks. He's injured.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Damn, your team sucks.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, Hunter Henry, Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, your team sucks.
Yeah, Harrison Butker is my kicker.
That's a funny name.
Yeah, and then I got Houston's defense. So, interesting. Very interesting.
Well, like, our other league is called Fam Jam, and that's our family league. Yep. And I'm excited for that one because I think I'm going to do well. I think.
Yeah,
watch me draft like last, like, and do the worst.
Nah, I think you'll do good. I think you'll do good in that league.
Yeah, I feel like that one. I talk a lot of shit to my in-laws about how good I am at football. So, at fantasy football. So we'll see.
The only problem is we invited Ben.
Right.
To play. We shouldn't have done that. Oh well.
He's probably listening.
Win. Yeah, he'll probably
he's much
win.
Better. Damn. But it's funny that we don't think that Richard, whom we all love, isn't going to win.
I mean, he might win.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. But yeah, no, totally. Oh well.
Oh, well.
Maybe they'll win, maybe they won't. But yeah, what else? What else do we have to say about fantasy football? I think that's it.
I think that's it,
You
too.
know,
Again,
We'll
like
have
we
further
said,
updates later. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to draft today in a couple hours, so
Yeah.
we'll see how that one goes, and we'll let you guys know.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's do our outro.
That's it. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you
Fuck outta
can follow me on social media stuff, Twitter, whatever, at Jesse JESSECO_OP.
And you can find me on social media and the like at Raven_co-op. You can follow Co-op the podcast, which is this podcast, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Co-op the podcast. And you can visit our website, coopthepodcast.com. You can also visit us on Patreon at patreon.com/co-op-the-podcast as well. We need to do some work on it on our Patreon, give you guys more of that good. But the more you guys give because you like our podcast, the more likely we'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
And if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see come from our Patreon, just let us know through social media, like I said before. Be sure to give Book a Bitch a listen. And find me on Scroticus Academy on Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
Dope.
Pacific Standard Time.
Dope. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. We're out of here. Peace out, Trouts.
Okay, bye. Oh, dip.
Oh, dip.